We welcome you back from that elongated break on ASU morning. We had wanted to wrap things up. But how can we do that when we know that today is a very, very important day? If you look up your calendar, today the global community is celebrating World Population Day. As I did introduce from the beginning of the program, of course, Nigeria is not left out in this commemoration, and there are individuals who are making concerted efforts to, create awareness about the benefits of population and, of course, the benefits of controlled population. We told you from the beginning that we have guests who will be coming. Thankfully, they have been able to make it to the studios for us to have this very, very important conversation, because there are quite a lot of things, good and bad, that are associated with population. I have with me in the studio people from Population Explosion Awareness Initiative. You can call them PEA Initiative. And of course, we're already seated in the studio, Chidera Benoit. He is from the Population Explosion Awareness Initiative, and seated very, very close to him is Chioma Oshilim. I hope I got that name correctly.
Yeah, you did. Good morning.
Thank you very much for joining us on ASU morning this morning.
Thank you very much.
What actually got my attention was the name of your initiative, Population Explosion Awareness, and you can guess the word that actually got my attention: explosion.
Yes.
Help us establish the connection between population and population explosion.
Okay. Population explosion, like when the population is growing massively. So I came up with the idea of this organization because I was reading about the data of how Nigeria's population will be growing massively. By 2050, Nigeria's population, today we have a population of about 226 million, and then by 2050, Nigeria's population would have reached 377 million. And by 2100, Nigeria's population would have accrued to 545 million. So you can see the massive way that our population is growing. And if the population, when you talk about explosion, is just trying to express the fast pace at which our population is growing, the exponential rate at which the population is growing.
Before I let you go, when we talk about explosion, and based on what you've explained, with what are we comparing this explosion? Because if, for example, this room is supposed to take 10 people, and at the end of the day you end up having 30 people, you can say that because of the size of this room, there is overpopulation in this room.
Yes.
Are we saying that Nigeria does not have the resources to cater for the population that we currently have and the ones that are coming based on the data you have read out?
Thank you. When you talk about maybe you want to refer to the land mass, or whether we have enough land mass to cater for the population
and the resources
and
also.
The resources, but the resources available for sustaining the population is actually finite. There's an extent to which you can harness these resources. Even if we have, let's take for instance, we have 1 million trees, and then the population is growing, we say that we have a massive land.
Yeah.
When we have, maybe let's say we have 100 million population, by the time it's 200 million, that 1 million trees, the rate at which it will be cut down will be massive. And then even if there are a lot of them, we keep harnessing them until we are left with nothing. That's why we're having global warming today, because the rate at which human action is impacting on the climate is massive. So the world is actually finite, and there's an extent to which the world can contain, the extent of population to which the world can contain. So if we keep having more and more people, you can see that we have massive land. We're supposed to have some vast area of land that will be green, left like that. But today it's hard to see, because people are building massively, because as more people are coming in, you need more houses, you need more energy to sustain this. If you need more firewood or whatever, or wood to build houses and all these things, more green spaces will be cleared. And if you say we have massive land, there's just some extent to which it can go, because it will eventually be harnessed to depletion.
Okay. All right, Choma, let me come to you. And I'll ask you this very simple question. The present population that we have in Nigeria, is it a blessing or a curse to us?
It's in between, I would say. It's a blessing because as a country we are not supposed to be without population. Okay, but just like he rightly explained, we do not have enough resources to cater for this population we have at the moment. And if we are not being careful with the rate at which population is growing in Nigeria presently, it might at the end of the day become a curse invariably. Yeah.
It will become a curse. Is it already a curse?
To me, I feel it's already becoming a curse, because the way, just like she said, it's good and bad, you know. But the rate at which it is now, how many of the youth are unemployed? How many people are going to bed hungry? How many people need where to stay? People are, you know, in all sorts of situations. Sometimes we need demographic foresight to be able to provide for the population. But the way we're acting, like we don't actually have any demographic foresight, because as the population is now, most of the youth, more people are coming out from school every year, and the labor force is already messed up, because many people that came out from school within the last 5 years don't actually have a job now, and more people are coming out. So I think that there is already a problem when it comes to population.
All right. Of course, one cardinal principle as a student of development communication, one cardinal principle that I was taught that is key to consider when you are planning for a people is to first of all know how many people you are planning for.
Exactly.
Know the demographic, the spread, how many men, how many women, how many old, how many young, and all of that.
Exactly.
You read out some very impressive numbers that were about 226. Is that what you said?
Yes.
But we know that the last time we had our census in this country, I can't even remember.
17 years ago.
Now we've been planning to have another one, and as at yesterday, the National Security Advisor just dampened our spirit when he came out to say that insecurity is a threat to the possibility of having another national population census this year. He read out some possibilities. There will be attack on population census officers. There will be attacks on people on the day of the census, and all of that, already pointing to why we may not have a head count this year. How did you arrive at that 226 million people? Because even from government officials, you will talk to one minister today, he will give you, we are over 200 million. Talk to another minister, he will only tell you we are about 210 million. Everybody, we have different numbers flying around. For a serious country, should this be the way to go?
No, I don't think so. I think we urgently need a population census, because without population census, you don't actually know what you're planning for, because it's with the census that you actually plan for the masses. If you want to provide food for a community that's and you don't know how many they are, there's no way you would know the amount of food that you can give this community, and maybe you want to elevate people out of poverty from a particular community, and you don't know the number of people there. So maybe 1,000 people don't have a job, but because you don't have data, you assume that 100 people don't have a job, and then you invest in that area. So without data, you're not actually going to get it right. So we urgently need population census to be able to plan well for this country, because without the census, our plans are just based on nothing. Okay. How I arrived at my numbers, these numbers are from the United Nations world population prospect
Okay.
from the data of 2022 United Nations World Population Prospect. That's where this data is coming from. The National Population Census, the last time they gave gave out a data was like 206 million into some years back. So, but we keep adding.
Of course.
We keep adding, and the rate of birthing is increasing every day, because the Nigerian population, the median age of the Nigerian population is 18.
Yeah.
So that tells you that the population is of youthful age.
Okay.
And because of this youthfulness of the population, there is more sexual activity, because the younger ones have more energy for these kind of things.
For reproduction.
To reproduction, and
All right.
there will be more and more birthing going on.
All right, Shoma, at Population Explosion Awareness Initiative, what solution are you bringing forward for us to be able to have a control over this explosion?
All right, thank you very much. One solution we are bringing forward for us to control this explosion is family planning. Strictly family planning, where we talk to the people, men, women, especially the women. We talk to them about the family planning and how it works. We school them, we educate them strictly on the family planning, the importance of family planning, the benefits of family planning to them as individuals, and then to the society at large.
But from your interactions with the people, how would you rate the level of acceptance of your message?
It's been high.
Okay.
It's been quite impressive.
So people are getting to understand the value attached
Yes.
to practicing safe
Yes.
and non-coercive family planning.
Exactly.
But I will allow you to explain to us, because there are different levels to family planning. And there are also a lot of obstacles, as you are aware. We are Nigerians, very cultural and religious people.
Yes.
We bring all of these perceptions to some of these things.
Yeah.
You go to a community to talk to them about family planning, you look at you like you are from somewhere else.
Exactly.
You understand? So what are some of the challenges that you have faced in the process of creating this awareness when you engage, especially with the people at the local, because at least people who live in the urban areas, they are easier to talk to.
Yes.
Even if they will reject, they will give you reasons why they are rejecting.
Exactly.
But how about someone who doesn't even, they have never heard about it, they don't even know what you're talking about? So for me not to give birth, why?
Exactly. So the contraceptive prevalence rate in Nigeria, like that's the rate of acceptance of contraception, is around 12%. 12%. So and then we have
Is that encouraging or discouraging?
that's discouraging, because it's a low number.
Okay.
So we have we also have we have the contraceptive prevalence rates, and then we have also some the time at which people start having sex, which is around the age of 17 for girls, and then for women who are not in any marriage, their rate of contraception is like around, unmarried women around 24%, but for women, that's the urban area, and then in the rural area we have like 8%. That tells you that in the rural area there is more challenge in the rural area, because there is more lack of information in the rural area. So the acceptance rate, so people are still being challenged in accepting family planning due to a lot of reasons. The religious factor, which which in the books, the holy books, tell that you should go into the world and multiply. And then if you're telling someone that has this high religious that holds their religion tight, that you should use family planning, then that would be like virtually telling the person to go against their religious belief, and then they will always try to challenge you in that regard. And then we also have the cultural aspect, where some places you have to, there is more people wanting to have a male child because of maybe how the culture attach more importance to the male child. And then other areas like lack of information, which explains why in the rural area there is less acceptance of family planning, because in the rural area the level of information there is less than in the urban area. So, and also we have like the gender roles, whereby in some families the men feel like they have the ultimate say when it comes to family planning, even when the woman is the one that's going to carry the pregnancy. And maybe you find some instances where I know a woman that had CS, had a baby through CS, and then she enrolled in one of the contraceptive services, one of the family planning, but due to the fact that she enrolled before telling the husband, it was a big issue. So the man felt like he is the one that has the ultimate say to decide whether she should get family planning or not. But this woman was trying to protect herself because she just had a CS, and then if she takes in again, that might be complications.
All right. So let me go to Chioma now, because women, you are very central to this conversation. And based on what you've said, you've had interactions with women. But Pea Initiative, are you more present in the urban areas and absent in the rural areas? Because like what he has just explained, we have more of a challenge at the rural areas because of probably lack of facilities for information. They do not have televisions to watch programs like this. Most of them don't even have access to radio and all of that. And I want to believe that an initiative such as this has come into, close that gap. Are you more present in the urban areas, or you are more present in the rural communities?
Oh well, I'll start by saying it's a movement. So we've had our presence in the urban areas. So presently, we are going into the rural areas, and we had like a seminar recently for some women in the rural areas within the FCT. When we went there, we spoke to them about family planning, on the benefits. We took our time to educate them on the myths and the misinformations that has been flying all over the place about family planning. Some people say that people who had family planning usually have difficulties getting pregnant when they take off the family planning. So we had to deal with such myths and such misinformations. And then we've during the last seminar, we took our time to really educate them properly, the young ladies, the married women, and all of that. And then we also took time to explain on the types of contraceptives and family plannings that are available.
But just in case someone is watching and needs this information, kindly establish for us a connection between the prevalence of poverty in our homes and communities and country to population explosion.
Okay.
Maybe let me just come in a little bit.
All right.
Okay.
So, like, let's take for instance, family planning is the way you can control the number of children that you want to give birth to. So let's give an instance whereby two men are working in the same office, and both of them are getting the same salary. One has 2 children and the other has 8 children. So when they are paid, let's say for instance they are being paid 150,000 every month. The one that has 2 children, when he receives his salary, the amount of money that he will use to provide feeding for his family is going to be less. So by the time he spends a little portion of his salary on food, he will have extra available to take care of the education and healthcare of his family and other needs. But the one that has 8 children, before he even finishes buying food for the family, he will have to go and borrow more money. Exactly. So he has to go and borrow more money. So then the children of this man that has 2 children, by the time they are getting support from their parents, obviously, because the man has extra cash because he's not spending too much on feeding. So the children will now have more support for their education, and then they will come out better in the society, more educated and with more opportunity. Let's say for instance one of the children they saw that he has talent in music, and then they even hire music tutor for this child because they have a little extra cash.
Money, yes.
So that this child grows up and gets well acquainted with music and even establishes a career in music because of the skills he acquired. But the children of this man that has 8 children, they've not even finished getting enough food because talk more of hiring a tutor. So you can see that the children from the family of 2, they'll be more progressive. True. Because the ones from the family of 8, they'll be stuck with trying to feed and all that. So the growth rate of these children from these different homes will be different. They'll be growing on different trajectory because the ones from a smaller family will have better support from their family because they are getting more money. So the poverty in the family, these ones that have more skills, they will be more employable. They get more, they get better jobs, and then they grow in the society. But these ones from the family of 8, they are stuck. They don't have certificates. They don't have skills to even progress. So the poverty keeps recycling, and they go out on the streets and do the same thing because that's what they saw their parents do. Maybe they even go on and have more children than their parents, and then it keeps on going like that. So the poverty keeps recycling in the family. So you can see the connection. And this man that has two children is through the only way you can control the number of children you have is by family planning. So family planning is the connection between the poverty and this family, and then the growth in this other family. So that's how poverty can help in alleviating poverty in family planning can help in alleviating poverty in our society.
Okay. Choma, talk to our women because of time. There are, like I think it was you who was speaking about, no, you who were talking about how men always claim to be the head of the family and they are always responsible for decisions such as this, whether to go for family planning or not. What should a woman who has found herself in such a situation do? You know for a fact that health-wise, taking in to give birth to another child constitute danger for you, and your husband is adamant about family planning. What will your initiative be advising such a woman to do in such a situation before I come back to you?
Okay, I would say you as a woman, you should go to the hospital and see professionals that will suggest family planning methods that will not be of harm to you as a woman. You as the woman, you don't have to allow your husband force you to endanger yourself, to endanger your life, because whatever consequences that comes up as a result of constant betting, you as the woman will be the one to face it fully, not your husband. So I would advise you go to the hospital as a woman, meet with doctors, meet with professionals that would advise you on the best method to use. Yes.
All right. Talking about going to the hospital, of course we are aware that there are different methods of family planning. I don't know if you are a medical doctor, so I wouldn't ask you specifics, but I want you to talk to men also, because sometimes we can be very, very stubborn.
Yeah. Exactly.
We can be stubborn when it comes to all of that. Talk to us from the point of view of your initiative, what you've seen in the field, and the things that if we agree to do will make our lives a lot more comfortable. Because you've given an example that anyone who has sense will see it's ABC. The more children you have with your little resources, the more problems you continue to create for yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But the lesser number of dependents, that is children and others, because apart from the 8 children that you've mentioned, probably he has his mother, brothers, who are also looking up to that 150 that you collect.
Exactly.
So please talk to us from the point of view of your initiative, having gone to the field, having seen all the indices, having seen the numbers. Talk to us to understand why we should seek professional help with respect to family planning as a means of cutting on this population explosion.
Okay, to us men, I encourage us to know that family planning is a positive thing, and in our society, people depend on men a lot. When you come out in the society as a man, you, apart from your immediate family, you also have other responsibilities
Definitely.
to your the family where you're coming from.
Even your friends.
Exactly. So, and then if you have lots of children, that's going to be increasing on your burden. And that's why you see a lot of men don't last much, you know, and sometimes it's due to societal pressure, financial pressure that's coming on these men. Men go through a lot when it comes to like being burdened financially. You have to sort this. So you as a man, trying to, a way to elongate your life is try to have the number of children you can take care of. Have a small family, at least that one, you know that, okay, this is my circle, I can take care of this small family, than increasing more on the burden that's coming up on you. And then from the cultural perspective, I also think that we should try to understand the psychology and what the women are going through too, for us to be supportive when it comes to, like, let's say for instance that the woman that had CS and then she took family planning. I would feel that the husband should even be the one to suggest that she should get family planning, because if she takes in within that period, there's going to be complications because she just had a CS. So I would encourage men to be more empathetic to the women, and to try to understand their own perspective, and also to encourage them and support them wherever necessary. And for some of the cultural norms that have been there for a long time, that are not supportive of human rights, as a modern person, you should be able to say what is right and wrong. If the community we're coming from has some very strict laws against women, you should be, as a modern person, you should be able to say, this is not right now, you know, at least let things start changing. You should be able to make the right decisions and change some norms that are inconsistent with human rights and progress.
All right, so Chioma, as we commemorate today, and of course your initiative is also lining up programs, I want to believe, part of which is why you are here to commemorate today as World Population Day. What should we be looking forward to?
All right, we should be looking forward to more programs, more awareness.
Okay.
Yes, especially in the rural areas. Okay. Yes, we'll be holding so many outreaches and empowering some of these women and the ladies on the benefits, and getting to make them familiar with the family planning stuff and all of that.
So apart from, after the studio session, what's next for PEA Initiative?
Actually, we're meant to go to another location for outreach. So after here, we're going out to see how to arrange for the next place that we're going to. Okay.
Yes. So what are you present on social media?
Yes.
Which people, because I want to believe that there are people who want to join in this movement, because I want to see it like a movement.
Exactly.
There are people who may want to join in this movement, even if they can't meet you physically. In their own spaces, they can get your message and share those messages with their own relevant cycles. What are your social media handles?
Exactly. We have our website is www.peainitiative.org. PEAINITIATIV.org.
Okay.
And our phone number 090 67 874214. So if you go to our website, you will see our Twitter page, Instagram, Facebook, and also the YouTube channel. So you can see some of the things that we have there.
Okay. Any other thing that we have not talked about?
No. I think we're fine.
All right. Essentially, for me, what I have taken away from here is that as a man, be an evolutionary human being, because no life is static. That our forefathers did it this way does not mean that you must continue that way. The world has changed. It's not that the world is changing. No, the world has changed, and so are every other things that man knows how to do and have been doing. Of course, family planning, I don't think you even need anybody to come and tell you to pedal. to go gently, especially in this very, very interesting economic times that we are in. Of course, and the difference is always clear between families that have the number of dependents that they can cater for, and the families that have, that prioritize quantity over quality. I think that's the whole message. We should prioritize quality of life over quantity. We all have the right to live. We all have the right to enjoy life, not to survive. Because when you find yourself in a very large family where the provider is not able to provide for everybody, you are just surviving. And those are the things that lead to some kind of decisions that you later regret in life. It makes a whole lot of difference.
Exactly.
It's what actually makes the difference between the type of life we all have. One shot at this very thing we call life, and the quality of it is largely dependent on how much of support, how much of provision we're able to get, especially when we're children, with respect to education, healthcare, shelter, and all of that. The children you see on the streets today, that is abnormal.
Exactly.
It's abnormal that a child would have to go beg for food, that a child would have to go beg for what to wear, that a child would have to beg for basic necessities that someone who calls himself a parent is expected to provide. It's abnormal. I don't think even your religious book, from the first page to the last page, supports that act. And of course, you are shying away from talking about the religion. I am a Muslim, of course, and you can't tell me from the beginning to the end of the Quran and even a hadith that family planning is bad. Because first of all, God says you are a shepherd. Do you know what it means for God to call you a shepherd? That you are responsible for the children you are bringing into this world.
Exactly.
And He will question you, that each and every one of us will be questioned based on those responsibilities given to you to cater for. So what is that telling you? That you should only bring into this life the amount of children that you can be able to take care of. And if people were to actually do this, I don't think any responsible person would just go out there and populating their communities with children that they can't cater for. So I don't think we even need to say too much on this, because it's already clear that responsibility starts with each and every one of us, particularly we, the men. We live in a patriarchal society, so most of the decisions are left on the tables of the men. So we must, like Choma said, we as men, we should be the ones to support our wives to take the decision to, of course, have family planning. Nobody is saying you shouldn't have sexual intercourse with your partner. No, that's not what family planning is all about. That's why there are health experts there to help you, that you can continue to have your enjoyment and all of that, but you will now be able to decide when to have a child or not. And I think God will even be happier with you as a human being if you give birth to only children that you can be able to provide for effectively. And it's on this note that I have to say sincere thank you to you for even thinking about this, because quite a lot of us, we just carry on. But if we have people like you who from time to time remind us, Oga, take it easy. Yes, so it's really a huge thing that you're doing. I have to say sincere thank you to you.
Thank you.
And I listen to your last words before we close.
Okay, not much thing to say anymore than to just ask us to get family planning to be able to have children only when you have to have children by choice, not by chance.
I wanted to say that.
Have children by choice.
Yeah.
All right, he has said it. Then you can also say it.
Children by choice, not by chance.
Because now small family,
Sure
sure pass.
Yes.
And I think I like that. Have children by choice.
By choice, not by chance.
I don't get belay again. Don't be in that category. So I have to say sincere thank you to you, Chidera.
Thank you very much
for being here, and of course Choma Oshilim for supporting him in all that he is doing here. I'm very sure you have your other members who are out in the fields doing this very wonderful work.
Yes.
Thank you. Say our thank you to them, and continue to come here anytime you have the need. We are always here to support initiatives such as this.
Thank you.
Because our societies, in our communities, in our homes, first of all, we need some level of control.
Yes.
We need some level of control.
Yes.
It's very important particularly with the way the country is going. Under the former administration of Goodluck Jonathan, we are shouting. President Muhammadu Buhari came. We are screaming. Now, now it's raining. We don't know what will come next, and the world is only for those who actually prepare for it.
Yeah.
We also sincerely thank you, our dear viewer, for investing your time with us this morning on this program. And this is where we'll have to draw the curtains officially on this edition of ASU Morning till we come your way again tomorrow. Same time, same station. In fact, tomorrow is for the ladies, of course. You will definitely do yourself a world of good to invest your time with ASU Morning Crew, the Women Edition, Friday edition tomorrow. Thank you. My name is Usman Katun Umar, urging you to have a very splendid day ahead.